It started just after 9 o'clock this morning, a fire in the nearly 100-year-old Toronto Badminton and Racquet Club. According to one witness who was inside the club at the time, at first it didn't seem too serious, but it did not take long before the building was fully engulfed. This amateur video was shot from a nearby condo building and shows the roof falling in. Now, 9 hours later, and crews are still frantically trying to bring the 6-alarm blaze under control. In fact, they say a complete collapse of the building is imminent. It has been a very exhausting and challenging day for fire crews here at Yonge and St. Clair. Fire Chief Matthew Pegg describing this as a very, very difficult fire to fight, one of the worst in his experience. And as you can see, it is still very much an active scene. As darkness falls, it's a little bit harder to see the smoke, but right now it is enveloping me in a thick black cloud. It comes and goes with the wind, but right now it is pretty intense. It is all around me here at Yonge and St. Clair. Many fire crews, police officers, and many of us in the media, in fact, have been wearing masks all day to try and minimize the amount of smoke we are inhaling. But the main message from firefighters is if you can possibly avoid being in this area, you are asked to stay away. Meanwhile, hundreds of people have been evacuated with no indication of when they might be able to return to their homes and businesses.
There's a lot of combustible material, a lot of wood construction, and obviously a lot of content loading. So we're just dealing with a very large fire in a very large building that is producing a lot of heat, and given the fact that it's not safe for us to put firefighters on the inside, it's been very, very hard for us to actually get water on the scene of the fire.
Would you say this fire is under control?
We have not officially declared it under control. When our incident command team makes the declaration under control, that's a positive confirmation that the forward progress of the fire has stopped.
Right.
We have not issued an under control benchmark at this point,
right.
But certainly from the standpoint of the incident being controlled by our crews at Toronto Fire, absolutely it is.
The chief says the blaze was upgraded to a 6-alarm early this afternoon, and as the fire continued to rage, more and more crews were brought in to give exhausted firefighters a break. About 120 men and women from Toronto Fire Service have been working all day to battle this blaze. This man watched the whole thing unfold from his 9th floor office.
We're a safe distance away, and the wind really seems to be blowing eastward. We're on the west side, so not too concerned about that. But if things do get hairy, we'll clear up.
And it's just, I mean, it's just kind of mesmerizing to watch these guys work.
Absolutely. It's been a hell of an experience. What can I say?
Yeah.
It's once in a lifetime. Hopefully, once in a lifetime.
The black smoke was thick for several blocks, at times getting worse and then lessening depending on the wind. Toronto Fire continues to monitor the air quality, and the chief says while smoke is never good, there's no immediate danger from toxicity. Nonetheless, people were wearing masks or trying to cover their mouths any way they could to avoid inhaling the fumes. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their homes and businesses with no indication of when they'll be able to return.
Just because it seems to be a lot more smoke now than there is before.
And no indication when you'll be let back in?
No, they told me that if it was going to get worse, they would let me know, but I haven't heard anything.
This man owns Pizziolo on St. Clair and is worried about his building going up.
We weren't filled with smoke, but everything is contained inside, but we got a lot of water running over our building with firefighters up above.
Toronto Fire says they've been successful so far in containing the fire to the Racquet Club, but are continuing to fight the fire defensively. In other words, they fully expect the building to collapse entirely and are working to make sure other buildings are not put in jeopardy.